We're rolling.
Welcome to the House Dudes podcast, where we invite you to follow us on our journey towards financial freedom using the power of real estate. I'm Jack Haas.
And I'm Josh Koth. Here at House Dudes, we believe in a couple key principles. Number one, the best way to retain information is by teaching it to others. And number two, a rising tide lifts all boats. We're not competitors, we're a community. So let's get into some real estate investing.
So we got Reid on the call here tonight with Ardor SEO. And as you can imagine, everybody has been looking to add and build on their search engine optimization around our real estate portfolios and trying to find that next deal or find that next investor. And Kris and his team are experts in this. And I really appreciate your time, Kris. And before we kick things off, I really want to make sure everybody has your contact information. So if they search for Ardor SEO, they're going to easily find you, right?
Sure. Xin chào, Jack. So coming to you from Saigon in Vietnam. But yeah, if anyone's looking for me, you can just Google the coolest guy in SEO and you'll see me everywhere. So I'm not hard to find.
So let's, if you don't mind, if we can start at the very beginning, because I know we have a lot of first-time listeners. And some of the questions that I typically get the most is where should they spend their marketing money? And frankly, online seems to be a hotter and hotter thing, especially in doing it correctly. So let's start things off with defining what search engine optimization actually is.
Yeah, sure. Most people waste so much money on marketing because they don't have a plan. You know, like there's what's his name? John Wanamaker, that really old marketing dude. He had a cool quote. It's like, half the money I spend on marketing is wasted. I just can't work out what half. Mm-hmm. And that's true in the old style of marketing, stuff that Coca-Cola does, advertising on TV and billboards. It's so hard to measure what's effective. That's not the case with digital marketing. You can measure absolutely everything. What is happening, where people are coming to your website, where they're coming from, and what your conversion rates are. So yeah, it kicks the crap out of any other form of marketing for sure. But a lot of people are still confused about why they have a website, right? Mm-hmm. A website is like a business card. It doesn't work if it's sitting in your desk drawer. You got to get out there and hand it out. And the same with the website. If people can't find it, it's useless. It's not doing anything. So, and it doesn't need to look beautiful unless you're a web design agency or wedding photographer. It doesn't particularly need to look beautiful. It needs to clearly say that you solve the problem that person's searching for. So usually people aren't searching for you. They're searching for the problem. They're going, I need to sell my house fast, or I need to make money quick, or I've got a headache. That's what they're typing into Google. And so they land on your page, and it needs to really rapidly say, yes, you can sell your house fast here, or we can make you more money, or we resolve that headache. And that needs to be the very first thing that it says. Pass a grunt test that anyone that's a layman in that market can understand. Then it needs to show that you're an expert and you have the ability to actually solve their problem. That's what they're looking for, so that they can build some trust with them. And then lead them, how do they do business with you? Make it really easy. Click on this button, download this guide, book an appointment, or whatever it is. If you follow that 3-step formula, you can have a website that brings you predictable revenue month in, month out.
So, you had a lot there to unpack here. So when you say answer those questions, I think that is one of the things that a lot of people miss is when you go to a search engine, people are actually typing in a question. So what have you seen? Let's focus on buying houses. We're looking for that next deal. Like what type of terminology or what should they be researching to find those keywords or key phrases, if you will, to make sure that they incorporate those into those websites?
Yeah, so it's called keywords. Keywords are the search terms that people are typing into Google. So Google makes all of their money through paid search, right? There's organic search, which are the 10 free listings, and then there's the paid search, and that's where Google makes all of their money. You pay to be listed there, and anytime that someone clicks on your ad, you pay Google. And it can get really, really expensive. Only around 2 to 6% of people click on the ads. Google does play with it as much as they can to get as many clicks as they can, but still only 2 to 6%. So even at the top end, 94% is going to organic. So you're going to get a heck of a lot more traffic there. But like before you build a website, before you write any content, before you even do a podcast, before you do anything, you should do keyword research. You need to understand what your potential customers are searching for. And through that keyword research, because to be able to advertise on Google, Google has to give you the information on, how many people are searching for what, and what are the cost per click. How much do people pay for those clicks? Because generally, something that's $20 per click is going to convert better than something that's 20 cents per click. So but it's also going to be more competitive too. So you have to pick something that's reasonable. But through the keyword research, that's how you structure your website. So if you think about Amazon, right? It's amazon.com/movies/music/fashion. Then under fashion, you have men's and women's, and then all the subcategories of that. And that should be the same way that your website is structured. That you have your main category pages of the main services that you provide. That's your main money pages. Then you have like the subcategory pages, and then you have supporting content. So like if you're looking to buy houses from people that are selling, say, distressed properties, look for keywords that are like, how to sell my house fast, city name, like generally not buy, because people aren't searching how to buy a house fast, or, they're like, so you don't want to say on your website, we buy houses, no, how to sell your house fast. That's what we do. We help you with selling your house, And so like you can have that as your main money page, and then your supporting content, you'll have things like, well, how to increase the value of my house, how to sell my house faster, how to get the best value for my house fast, things like that. A good idea about supporting content is one of our customers is a 5-star hotel chain, and they're up against Agoda, Booking.com, Hotels.com, sites that literally spend billions of dollars on marketing. Mm-hmm. And one of their main keywords is Hotel Sydney. And you don't want to go toe-to-toe with these guys. And so we did a content plan about best beaches in Sydney, best parks in Sydney, best walks in Sydney, which are anything that someone that's going on a holiday to Sydney is searching for. And so it drives traffic in that way, and you funnel them through to your main money page, the booking page. But the main relevance, the main purpose of that content is that you're building up your overall relevancy around hotels in Sydney. Mm-hmm. So like you can't just keep writing content, sell my house, how to sell houses fast. You need to add lots of other content that's around that. So Google sees you as an absolute expert in that industry.
And so let's talk about the website development there and that content that you're talking about. Do you find that let's say somebody is looking to get into this, is it okay to just dump in a ton of content all at once and hope for the best? Do you plan this out, like, and if you do plan it out, at what rhythm? And I think people see this as put up a website and they'll find you.
Yeah. And like if you're building, a valuable digital asset that fuels your business growth, if that was easy to do, then everyone would be doing it. And then it wouldn't be valuable again, right? Mm-hmm. Building anything that is worth having takes time and, costs money because it's valuable. I mean, you imagine having predictable leads coming to you through your website, like just a minute before, I jumped on this call with you, someone just paid to have a call with me. Like that's an awesome lead. When someone pays to speak to me, like, when I actually speak to them, they're going to give me money to become a client. Like that's exactly what you want. And that they came through our website. Like how valuable is that? Mm-hmm. But getting back to your question about content, there's this fabulous tool called Ahrefs, which I plug all the time. It's a brilliant SEO tool. It's really quite expensive, so it's only kind of for SEO experts. But they do have like I think it's 7 days for $7, like a small trial. And anyone that's a novice, like 7 days will give you plenty of information to keep going. But they published this awesome case study, and I'll just read the title of it. It's 90.63% of content gets almost 91% of content gets zero traffic from Google. And the rest of this article is how to be in the other 9%. And so breaking that down even further, they analyzed 2 billion pieces of content, and they found only 0.21%. So less than 1%, 0.21% of content gets more than 1,000 visitors a month. So like if you pump out content, there's the chances of you ranking it are very slim. The article is super long and super detailed, but the number one reason, the main correlation between content getting zero traffic is that they don't have any backlinks. And a backlink is the secret to how Google works. So you might remember back in the 90s, there were all sorts of search engines, Yahoo, Alta Vista, and Excite, and they were all crap. They were based on content. Like if you wrote Sell My House Fast the most time on your website, you'd rank number one for Sell My House Fast.
Right.
Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, he was at university at the time and went, that's crap. He made the correlation between like people that do a PhD, their thesis, if everyone else references their thesis, then those guys are clearly an authority and their thesis is really good. And so I figured, well, it must be the same with websites. If you've got a website and everyone's linking to your website, referencing your website, having a backlink back to your website, then you must be really good and you should rank well. And he developed the PageRank algorithm, and it worked really well. And Google destroyed all of the other search engines. And so it's still the same thing today. Like if you don't have other people linking to your website, then you're not going to rank, because Google can't, like anyone can write any crap they want on the internet, right? And how does Google know whether it's true or not? They have no idea. They have to trust what other people are saying, and they do that by who's linking to you. So yeah, content's great. You need to know what your people are searching for so you know what content to write. But unless you got backlinks, it ain't going to rank.
So, well, before we get into how you developing those backlinks, I want to remind everybody that I know we're kind of covering a lot of ground, but I understand that you have a lot of this, some of this material that we're covering. In lieu of show notes, you might want to head over to that ARDORSEO.com, ardor.seo.com, and look you up and make sure that they can find you and get this information directly from you, because there's a lot of valuable content on your website, and I really want to call that out and have people head over there. So you talk about these backlinks, and it almost sounds daunting, like building a network locally. Like how do you build this network or build these backlinks, as you're referring to, and find those people willing to link to you to establish that credibility?
Yeah, so I think it was Warren Buffett that made the term, like, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, minutes to destroy it. And that's the same with building a website, right? It's never finished. Your website's never done. You're continually adding to it and building. It's the lifeblood of your business. It's what generates you all your leads and all your customer growth. So like you want to continue doing it, and you need to continually build your reputation and build great backlinks. We work a lot in the real estate market. It's a fabulous market. And I tell you, like, ever since this pandemic crap, like, digital marketing is amazing. Like, everyone is moving online. Like, we have never been busier. I'm sad that other people are hurting, but damn, it's good for our business. But like, we work a lot in real estate. And so I go on a lot of real estate podcasts because, one, I'm getting my message in front of our potential customers, which is great for that. But it also gets us perfect backlinks, because I get a backlink from your website, which is just about exactly what we want that from. Because Google looks at the content on your website, but it looks at the content that's on the website that's linking to you as well. It's a massive network that it's looking at. It's not looking at anything in isolation. And so that your website is about the topics that we want to rank for, that backlink comes and works really well for us. So to put it in terms for realtors, like, one of our realtors is Avery Carl, one of the she was in the top 1,000 realtors in the US, in the top 10% of that. She's really kicking ass. And she sells investment properties in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. And not only does she sell them, she then looks after them for people, so she gets paid twice, which seems like a pretty damn good business model to me. But because she looks after so many properties, she works with landscapers and plumbers and electricians to like service all these properties, and all of those people are in the Smoky Mountains. And so she gets backlinks from these service providers that work with her. Even though their websites aren't super powerful and really big, they're really niche relevant because they are in the Smoky Mountains. And who knows more about the Smoky Mountains than people that live and work in the Smoky Mountains, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing with realtors, because they're generally looking for geographically targeted keywords. If you can get backlinks from other people in your local network, like that will help you rank for localized keywords so well. And localized keywords, anything where you put like a city name or even a smaller town, like they're so easy to rank. Like sell my house across the US, it's a super valuable keyword. So that's hard to rank for. But sell my house fast in city name or town name or suburb name, that's going to get easier and easier. The search volume's less, but the content you write is also more relevant. Like the more you can niche down, the better your content converts. Like if you think about, a keyword like smartphone, if someone was searching smartphone, what the hell are they looking for? Like it's got massive search volume, but what's the intent on that? Where like iPhone is certainly better. How to buy a secondhand iPhone 4 on the south side of town. Like that, the search volume for that is going to be tiny, but if that's what you do, like it's going to convert like crazy,
Sure. So, can we change course just slightly? Because I've always been curious about how to marry your website and the content that you have there with, like I know, for example, YouTube is the second largest search engine on the internet right now. How do you marry some and adopt some of that content and bring it into your site and take advantage of that content for search engine optimization?
Yeah, so YouTube is massive, and Google loves ranking YouTube wherever it can. So like, especially for any local keywords, like sell my house in a little town name, like you can rank a YouTube video for that as well. Chances are someone's not going to go to YouTube to search for that. It's not a kind of term that someone's searching for on YouTube. But if you make a video, you can rank both your website and the video. And the video can just be about whatever article you had, like you've got the article on your website of, here's how to sell your house fast in Miami or whatever it is. And, and then how people get in contact with you. You can just make a video about the exact same thing. You're just talking to your camera and go, hey, you want to sell your house fast in Miami? Here's all the different properties we've sold lately, get in contact with me, boom. A small little video that gets your keywords and your content in there as well. You can then embed it onto your website. So not only will that help your page rank organically in Google, because the content is more relevant. You've got the text. Google can understand what videos are about. That's how it ranks them in YouTube. It listens to the audio and works out how to rank them. But if you do it right, you can then have two properties, because there's 10 search results in the front page of Google, and they certainly do not get even amounts of traffic. If you're down the bottom between position 6 and 10, you get around 3 to 4% of the clicks. So not that many. If you're up at number 1, you get over 30% of the clicks. So the difference between number 10 and number 1 is 10 times the amount of traffic. Like that's a crazy increase, And if you've got a YouTube video in the top 10 as well, now you get some of those clicks. And another thing to think is there's only so much demand in a market, right? And someone's either finding you or they're finding your competition. Someone's searching sell my house fast. They want to sell their house fast. They're going to click on someone and sell their house fast. And so if you're taking up 2 of those spots, well, chances are that, you've got twice as many chances they're going to go to you.
Sure. Well, how about some of the other social media sites, like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram? It's almost overwhelming how many of the social marketing is such a... For sure.
So social media, like I just wouldn't get wouldn't go down that rabbit hole. Like, is that where someone's going to sell their house fast? Do they go to Facebook and search sell my house fast? Not likely. And a really good example is on the weekend, I was sitting at a cafe reading a book and then started playing around with Facebook. And I saw this really nice ad about copywriting. I love writing copy and sales and marketing. It was nice. I clicked on it, saw his sales funnel. It was really good. And I went and thought, yeah, it was $37. Sure, I'll buy it. I didn't have my credit card with me. I couldn't put my details into it. You know, then I totally forgot about it. It's been, I don't know, what day is it now? Wednesday, and I still haven't bought it because I don't even remember what it was. So It's like, not only did he have to pay for that click that I clicked on his ad, I didn't buy it, not because I didn't want to, just because I didn't have my credit card with me. So like, you got to think about intent. If someone's on their phone playing around with Facebook, it's interrupt marketing. If you're using an ad, because you're interrupting them when they want to be doing something else. But even if they see you organically, can they actually buy right now? Where Google, someone's sitting at their computer searching, or they're at least in the right context. You're not Googling sell my house fast when you're not able to actually carry through on that. You're probably at your computer and ready to call someone. So like the buyer intent is just so much higher with Google. Because they're actively seeking you out. So the leads are just way better. Like, yeah, they're obviously, you can get a lot out of YouTube and Facebook, or all those companies wouldn't be worth so much. In fact, YouTube actually loses money and loses a lot of money every year. If Google search didn't support it, then it would be broke. So, and I don't know the ins and outs of Facebook that much, but there is just so much in search that it can explode your business beyond your wildest dreams that you don't even need to ever think about them.
Right. No, that's really interesting, especially when we're talking about all of the, like I said, there's just so many social media networks and everything right now. You don't know where you really should put your time. But you're absolutely right. The leads that we receive, they're always better through our website. And because those people are actively searching, compared to the yellow letters we send out, we get a lot of people who are just calling in, kicking the tires, just to see what we're about, or telling us to take us off their take themselves off the mailing list. That search, that activity that they're going through to find you, does vet out quite a few people.
And another thing to think about with social too is it's so easy for people to get distracted. Even if you get someone to watch your video on YouTube, YouTube's offering them so many other videos to watch. Have a look at this fun cat video. They can really easily click on something else and disappear and totally forget about you. Same with Facebook. There's always more distractions, where if someone's actively searched you out and they go to your website, you've kind of got a captive audience. There's no one else's ads, no one else's things popping up. Your chance of converting that person into a customer is so much higher.
Sure. That does lead me to, we've been told for quite a while that it takes X number of touches for a person to take some kind of action. Like, can you talk a little bit about how steps in which you could maybe build on things?
Yeah.
Like when I send out my yellow letters now, for example, I'm directing them as much to my website as I am to getting them to call in. I mean, I want them, it's that multiple touch, right?
Yeah. So we work with a lot of real estate syndication companies. And so, they're usually, the average investment's like $50,000. And it's like, no one's going to click on your ad on Facebook and give you $50K, and no one's going to search your website and hit buy now and give you $50K. It just doesn't work like that. People don't trust you enough. And so you're crazy if you have like a buy now button and do that. So what you want to have is a lead magnet and like a transitional call to action as well. So your lead magnet is generally like, one of the terms that we rank those sort of companies for is like how to invest $50K. It's a fabulous keyword, because that person is exactly your target market, right?
Right.
And so they search that and go, here's the best way to invest $50K. You got this option, this option, this option. Ours is the best, obviously. And then you can give them a guide. Like, here's the biggest mistakes people make with investing $50K. Download this guide. They give you your email address and they get the guide. the guide has to be quality. If you give people crap, then you're going to turn them off straight away. But if you give someone, like, everyone has perceived value for their email address, whether they value it at $5 or $500, whatever, the perceived value of the content that you give them needs to be higher than that. And if it is, then they like you now. And that's when you start with an indoctrination campaign. Indoctrination campaign usually tells them about how great you are. Like, I've been on a lot of podcasts, some with really big names like Mike Michalowicz. We work with like Entrepreneurs on Fire, John Lee Dumas. And, I show them stuff like that. If they're in the real estate niche, then we show them, hey, check out these people that we're with. Here's Avery Carr, one of the best realtors in the company. You want to grow like her? This is how we did it. And you show them that you can solve their problem. Keep telling them more about their problem. Like, the thing with SEO is most people just don't understand it, because if you did, you'd already be doing it. It's no better investment you're ever going to get on your business. And so, a lot of what we have to do is education. How many leads are you getting from your website? Well, how many do you want? You can do that, right? And that sort of messaging. But like, then you move along to like, let's book in a call or whatever your sales funnel is. But a really good analogy is like dating, right? If you meet a girl on the street, you're not going to go, hey, you want to get married? Which is like, hey, give me 50 grand. Like, it's not going to happen. You want to like, make them feel good, tell them they're pretty, and then hopefully get them to go out for dinner with you.
Right. So, like I said before, there is a lot to this, and that whether it's science or an art around SEO. And so a lot of people, especially when you're getting into real estate investing, you got to start to analyze like, okay, what your individual skill set is. And, like my skill set is likely better spent talking to motivated sellers, answering those phone calls, doing that type of activity versus spending all this time developing this content, researching search engine optimization. And that's where I'm going to ask next, like if somebody was interested in hiring a marketing agency to do this type of work, what kind of questions should they be asking?
Yeah, I mean, there's a fabulous book by one of my favorite authors, Mike Michalowicz. His two books that I highly recommend to every business owner is Profit First, How to Make a Business That's Profitable, and Clockwork, How to Build a Business That Doesn't Revolve Around You. Like, the whole concept of Clockwork is go on a 4-week vacation, your business should grow without you. And man, you get those two right and business is a dream. But yeah, like, unless you want to learn SEO, you shouldn't learn SEO. Like, I use a Profit First professional to do our accounts. I know accounts at the highest level, but it's like I'd rather a professional deal with that stuff with me. If you're looking at an agency, ours is pretty good. I'd recommend them. But like, on a serious note, like, agencies that shoot at hip and go, oh, it'll be $2,000 a month or whatever. It's like, that's total BS. Like, you should have a strategy. What does success look like to you? Like, how many leads are you getting from your website at the moment? Often we have customers that come to us and they're getting 0. Okay, cool. How many do you want? Like, your business needs to grow in a stable way. Like, you can't get 100 leads tomorrow and 0 the next day. You need the same amount of leads and growing at a steady rate. Because like, if generally if you get more leads, you have to bring on more staff. And then you need to be able to pay for those staff. So generally we look at how many leads you're getting now, where do you want to be in 12 months, and what sort of growth arc do you want? Because with digital marketing, you can predict a lot of it. It's a science, right? You know how many people are searching for something. You know what the conversion rate on your website is. If your website doesn't get enough traffic that you don't know the conversion rate, or we can still estimate from industry standards. We go, well, this is about how much traffic you need. These are the keywords that you need to rank for. This is what we do to get you there. It's pretty much a science. You work backwards from where you want to be. But understanding where you want to be is the most important part.
Sure. So yeah, you've brought up Mike Michalowicz a couple times, so I have to call it out. If people really want to, check out Mike Michalowicz, we had him on episode 73. So head over to housedudespodcast.com and check that podcast out. It was a great chat with him. In fact, I got to touch back up with Mike again and get him back on. Since then, he's put out another book or two.
I'm just fix this next. I'm just going through it at the moment. It's a really nice book.
Yeah,
and like
some of those books are fantastic. I mean, they've been game changers.
So like Kelsey, his executive assistant, like he mentions it in the book that she's now like the president of his company and he's the spokesman. You know, and a lot of Fix This Next talks about how to analyze the issues and your problems. And, you know, I can see that, you know, my COO, like that's what he does is like measures our stuff because it's not what I'm good at. What I'm good at is sitting there talking to people like you know?
Right. So, yeah, I hate to do a roundabout, but we're having such a good conversation here. I kind of want to chat about one other thing. We have, I get a lot of people who come and ask questions about where should they spend their marketing money, and because some websites can get expensive, mailings get expensive. I mean, can we kind of close this out by giving somebody some action items on some low-hanging fruit that you think that low-cost marketing that they could possibly implement like today?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go one better, Jack. So if people go to our website, ardorseo.com, we'll put a special landing page together /housedudes. So ardorseo.com /housedudes. Go there and I'll personally make a video review of their market and their website. So I'll show you, it'll be on video, so you'll be able to see exactly how many people are searching for your products and services, how many people are searching, sell my house in your city. And I'll show you some simple things that you can change yourself on your website. How to set your title tags, descriptions, how to fix your content. So Google puts your website in front of where these people are actively looking and you can grow your business in a predictable way. So that is an absolutely great offer. I really appreciate you throwing that out. So make sure everybody head over to ardorseo.com /housedudes and take him up on this opportunity. And I mean, just if people don't know, ardor means to do something with passion. It's an adjective that's not that common. Yeah, I told you that, and weirdly enough, it could be my Norwegian accent a little bit. It's hard to say. Yeah, I mean the traditional English spelling is ARDOUR. I just went with the American version, Americanized it. So, I'm getting used to putting Z's where S's should be. Oh, sure. So, no, I wanted to cover a few of the things that you've pointed out. I try to kind of some highlights that came out of our chat that stood out to me. First of all, organic searches get 30% of those clicks. So if you get that number one search spot based on the organic searches, I mean, that's a huge difference. And so I didn't expect... It's organic search gets 94%. 6% goes to ads, 94% goes to organic. The number one position gets 30% of that. I am stunned that there is such a discrepancy there. We're just beat into our heads about Google pay-per-click. And it in the end, that doesn't have a ton of... Well, even Google want to put in the misinformation that SEO is risky, right? Like paid search, it's predictable. And Google give you lots of tools and they'll even give you account managers to help you with your account to show you that pay-per-click is stable and it's the way forward. But you even think about that as soon as you stop spending, you stop getting. Where SEO is compounding. Everything you spent last month, you get this month and you get next month. And nothing, it was Einstein that said compound interest is the most powerful thing in the universe. I think those that understand it earn it, and those that don't, pay it. Wow. So, and then I really think that it was a good mindset tidbit that you pointed out, that website, this is a long-term investment and a long-term play. Don't, and you got to put in that time and effort. And if you can't do it, make sure you hire a company or do some vetting to find somebody that can help you with it. Yeah. And it's going to fuel your business not for the next year, forever, And then this was the number one thing that I really think that people, if they could take away one thing, is building those backlinks. It's all about that content.
but I think it was really important and insightful for people to understand the importance of those backlinks and how Google uses them to do those rankings.
Yeah, you're not going to rank a website without them, that's for sure.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to point out while we're...
Not really, Jack. I mean, probably the biggest problem that we have in converting leads to customers is people realizing the dream. They go, oh, that works for other people. But it's like, is it possible? They can't see their business being massive. And having a website that generates you consistent leads and predictability, like that's everything that like Mike McCallum talks about in his books is like, revenue solves all problems. You could screw up everything in business. And as long as you got more customers coming in, like all of the other headaches melt away. You can spend your way out of trouble, and having that security, man, it helps me sleep at night.
Yeah. So everybody, we just touched the tip of the iceberg here. So make sure you hit him up in his offer, ardorseo.com/housedudes. Take him up on that offer for some of that information. I can't thank you enough. This was a great conversation, and I hope we can do this again, maybe even on a regular basis.
Sure, Jack. I'd be happy to come back.
So, well, thank you, sir.
We've put a lot of effort into providing useful content, and if you found value in the show and have any interest in supporting us with a small donation, head over to patreon.com/housedudes.
And if you have any thoughts or questions, shoot us an email at info@housedudes.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @housedudes. And if you like what you're hearing, head over to iTunes, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It really helps other investors out there find the show.
And remember, massive positive impact requires
massive positive action. We'll see you next time. This episode was brought to you by housedudes.com. Do you have time to actively manage flipping and rentals yourself? If so, go for it. If you live in a market that won't cash flow or don't have the time to do all the work, are you just out of luck? If there was a way to participate more passively, would that appeal to you? I'm sure you have questions about how the process works and what to do next. If that's the case, fill out the form on housedudes.com/investors, and we'll reach out to see if you are a good fit for our business. This is first come, first serve, and we will have to stop taking applications when our goals are met. See you at housedudes.com/investors.
I don't like to tell a man what to do with his money, but if you ain't investing in property, then you're dumber than a dummy.
I'm not dumb. I'm smart.
Well, buy property. That's my advice.